Hey GlowBAEs Hey, I'm Ashley Shannon and welcome to the GlowBAE Diaries. If you are new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back GlowBAE fam. So happy to have you and your energy in the building. If you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you're returning, don't forget to like, thumbs up this button, and make sure your bell notifications are on all so you don't miss a beat. We are going into 2022. I have a lot of ideas, a lot of content, a lot of things that I'm just planning, GlowBAEs, so you don't want to miss out on that information. But today's video, we're going to be talking about forbidden knowledge. We're going to be talking about the hidden aspects of spirituality, divination tools, all of that. And should you even be touching it? Why do some people consider it demonic? And all these different things from my perspective. So if you're interested in this video, definitely stay tuned.
Welcome to the GlowBAE Diaries.
So thank you so much for sticking around, GlowBAE. So obviously you want to hear my opinion, my perspective on this forbidden knowledge energy. I will say overall, when we talk about the shadow side of spirituality, a lot of people call it the occult, right? They call it the occult studies, and all of that really means is hidden knowledge. It means the shadow side. It's the thing that people don't automatically know. It's kind of those areas that you got to dig deep and find a little bit more information. It's really hidden for a reason, and that is a lot of what people don't understand. And before I even get into that, the basic premise of anything that we do in spirituality, whether it's the shadow side, whether it's the love and light, whether it's what I do in talking about getting people in divine alignment, there are universal laws or rules of engagement to everything. Never forget that even people that operate in the shadow realms, even those people who you think are doing demonic practices, in your opinion, that's not my opinion, some of you do think that way, everything has rules of engagement. That there are universal laws, and there are ways in which that people can step out of divine alignment in the shadow side, as well as people who can step out of divine alignment in the light or the non-shadow side, however you want to look into it. So when we think about tools, whether divination tools, going into the shadow elements, opening books that are, heavily protected by energy, the one thing I want you all to think about is, are you even ordained to touch these things? And especially when it comes to tarot, and this is the one thing a lot of people will notice, people will go away from tarot, people will start getting into tarot, and then they're like, oh no, this is demonic, I've had too many attacks, or blah, 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 blah. And the one thing I always reflect upon is, are you even ordained to touch tarot cards? Are you even ordained to go into spirituality? Are you even ordained to read other people's energy? Did you fully understand the laws of what that meant, of laws of karma? Do you even understands what that means in terms of reading people's energy? Do you even understand what that means of violating people's energy and energetic spaces when people come and ask you for readings? Especially people, because not everybody is gifted or receives their gifts naturally, and some people go through like initiation process, they join covens, they join groups, and it goes back to, are you even ordained to do that? Especially when people start dealing with them orishas and those deities and those elements that you don't even know if your bloodline is ordained to touch that. And there are a lot of people who will take your money and take your funds, initiate you, and then you getting attacked, you getting these things, you getting all these things happening to you with these spirits, the demonic energies, these deities are flipping people's worlds upside down. It's because they didn't understand that they weren't even ordained spiritually or by bloodline or whatever it is to touch these things. I remember in the very beginning of my journey, I'm a Scorpio moon. So I like to research. I like to get deep in my research. If I find something, I will go into a deep rabbit hole, especially when it comes to spirituality. I like to know. I like to know a lot of things. And so once I get something in my mind, I will research. I'm a Google master. I always said that I'm a Google master. I know how to find a lot of things on the internet. It's not that hard for me. But one of the things that I realized when getting into spirituality, there's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of hidden knowledge, and rightfully so. There's a lot of things that are hidden for a reason. There's a lot of practices that are hidden for a reason. When I first got into this, I remember someone sending me a book. It was this guy I had met, and he, long story child, but he ended up sending me a book, and I kept hearing my guys, don't you open that. Don't you open that book. So I never opened it. I never opened the PDF. I never looked at it. I don't even know where it's at to this day. I remember this happening to me on another. I was researching, and I landed across like how colleges have these research papers and things like that. I ran across this research paper about, I forget what it was, but I opened it, I started reading it, and I got this headache right here on my third eye, and I told you not to open it. Some of these tools, some of these practices, some of this information, some of this knowledge has been protected, has been, I'm hearing curse, but from the standpoint that if you're not ordained to touch it, if you're not ordained to step between the light and the shadow realms, your life will kind of go upside down. And it's not necessarily, it's just what it is, right? It just is what it is. Certain tools, certain practices are not meant for everybody to touch. Certain things have been, there is energies put on it to protect the energy. There are things put on it to protect people from using it in a malicious or negative way, or using it that's not supposed to be using it. So the magic, the energy that is put on it will backfire on the person who's not supposed to touch it. I hope that makes sense to you. And the one thing, again, I can say that a lot of people experience, especially in this tarot realm, where people start dealing with orishas, they start dealing with deities, and they start dealing with tarot cards, and they start divinating and reading people's energy that they're not supposed to be reading. They start asking questions about people. They start venerating these deities and these orishas, and they haven't even touched base with their ancestors. And that's when they start getting all these weird occurrences. That's where they start getting all these things happening to them. Especially, there's a lot of you who are bloodline, like sons and daughters of orishas, and sons and daughters of bloodlines of certain deities and things like that. And then you have these people who get initiated into these practices, and they want to do these different things, whether it's energy harvesting. They want to try to read your energy, and they don't realize Mama Oshun, Mama Papa Legba, and all of them is sitting at the door like, oh, you ain't know this my blood? Oh, you trying to come in on an initiation, and this is my blood. I'm about to flip the whole world upside down. And that's where a lot of people don't understand that there are rules to engagement with these orishas. There are rules to engagement with these deities. There are rules to engagement with these demons that these people work with. And some people, and I'm going to do another video on this. This will probably be on my membership page, where I'm going to talk about not everybody is spiritually, when we talk about the divine feminine, divine masculine, there's levels to this. Not everybody is at an emperor or empress level, or not everybody is a high priestess or magician. Some people are purely individual contributors in this world of spirituality. And when that comes to an individual contributor trying to step in a high priestess or empress role who has been ordained by the Most High to say, you're a spiritual judge. So you need to be able to go between both realms to create balance and create alignment and call judgment on people and do these different things. We'll talk about that. And those are the ones that can go into the worlds. Those are the ones that can go between the realms because they have the protection and the anointing of the Most High. These are the people who have the spiritual blessing to cast out demons through their words. They don't have to use a lot of these things. Or people who understand herbalism, like shamanism and things like that. There are people who are ordained to do these things, and they're ordained by the Most High to do so. So when they go into the realms where they do these things, They're not affected. The magic or the energy attacks or the demons or the deities, they understand, they overstand their universal law. And this is where humans tend to not understand universal law. They don't really understand the karma, the judgment. And we can go on for days, y'all. But it's a very interesting dynamic where, because there's so much hidden, there's so much that has purposely been hidden in history, there's so much that has been purposely misconstrued, so people don't really understand what they're getting into. And this is why I always say, I truly believe tarot is a tool to help you understand yourself, but not everybody should be reading people's energy. Not everybody, you shouldn't be asking questions about everybody. Like, people that be trying to read my energy and they be wondering why things be happening to them is because you're not ordained to step in my energy. I have a very high ranking energy and a very high ranking bloodline. And the types of knowledge that is in my Akashic records, they will get messed up by the Most High, because that is some very deep wisdom and things that just can't be in anybody's hands. So each time my karmics try to attack me, try to get into my third eye, try to get into my crown chakra, they get messed up and they begin to lose their spiritual gifts. They get attacked by the same demons they send to me. And that's the big thing that people don't talk about, is you try to send demons for other people, and these people outrank you spiritually, and those demons start attacking you or attacking whoever sent it to you or whatever the case is. And then they start crying, oh, this is demonic, tarot is demonic, but they don't tell you in the back end that they got initiated into Ifa, or they got initiated into whatever practice, or they're doing Baphomet rituals, or they're doing all these things. They're dealing with occult lore and grimoires and things like that. And they were never ordained to do so. Some of you are like descendants of some of the creators of these grimoires. Some of you are descendants and creators of some of these shamanistic practices. And people try to use them and use these tools against you. And then that's when they get the karma and they reap the judgment that they have sown. And that's why I always say spirituality has warning labels. And whether you read it or you don't, that's where the free will, that everybody has universal laws, even the shadow side, even people who operate out in occultisms and groups and covens and things like that. There's always laws and rules of engagement. And people who are more higher ranking and higher level and really understand that, they will never go against someone that they know is ordained and blessed by the Most High. They understand it. It's usually the people who have their delusions of grandeur and don't really have a sound backing and understanding of spirituality, because they want to be this, they want to achieve this, they want to get that. Their ego is not in alignment with their soul's purpose or their soul's journey, and they ignore the warning labels. I posted a warning label to my community tab that I had found about working with demons. And the warning label clearly said, clear as day, if you suffer with mental health stuff, if you struggle with mental health, you shouldn't be working with no demon. Some people work with demons to manifest material possessions, money, finances, things like that. But in it still, if you're not ordained to be touching some of these things, then demons can backfire on you. They can cause trickery. Demons, it's a very interesting thing the more I research it, because I've posted this on my GlowBAE Tarot page back in May, that the Most High called me to start researching and understanding it. And part of that is I have the power to cast out demons. They send them to me. I send them up to the Most High for judgment, and they get the hell up out my energy. And not everybody has that power, and they call on these demons. And when I cast these demons out of my space and they got nowhere else to go, where they're going back to the energy that sent them, and they're going to cause havoc on their life, cause havoc on their finances. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And so they start dipping and dabbling because they see the front end, the money, the wealth, the power, the status, the control. But on the back end, when they can't make good on the deal that they made with the demons, because the demon don't want no fruit. Demon don't want nothing at an altar. There's energy, there's things that they want, and if you can't make good on the deal that you're promising them, then they come back and they destroy and take everything that they have given you plus your soul. And plus, like, it's like you're going to give me everything I gave you plus some. And that plus some is you. And a lot of people don't understand that. And they start dealing with these grimoires and these things. And they're like, oh, it's cool. You know, the demon's going to help me manifest money. But at what cost? And that's where I say not everybody is ordained to even do these things and step into the alignment. And you know, like I said, there's warning labels. Some people, when it comes to like that mental health and mindset perspective, they're not even mentally sound to understand, are you dealing with trickster spirits, trickster demons, or you're dealing with energy that are aligned with the soul mission and soul calling? And are you even divine alignment to manifest the things that you want? It goes far. The rabbit hole goes deep, GlowBAEs. And that's the difference. Like I said earlier, I have a lot of divine wisdom and understanding of these things, so I don't touch a lot of stuff. I don't need to. I don't have to. My word is powerful enough. My connection with source is powerful enough that if they send something to me, I'm going to clean my energy. I'm going to cast these demons out. I'm going to carry along my way. And there's not a lot of people who have that ordinance and ordained to do so in the spiritual realm. And then they start calling things demonic. They start leaving spirituality. They go back to other things because they now have to repent for what they've done. They're trying to make amends because they're under judgment by the Most High for touching things that they weren't even supposed to or weren't even ordained to touch. So I said a lot, but I hope that gave you a good understanding that when it comes to divination tools, spirituality, you really have to understand what is for you and what is not for you. A lot of times it comes to what Spirit is telling me now. A lot of times it comes to really thinking about what is your soul's journey, your soul's purpose. And if you are called to be a spiritual leader, a spiritual teacher, if you have an older soul, a lot of times your auric field can handle and do other, do different things, right? If you're ordained or if you have a calling over your life to be a high priestess, if you have a calling over your life to be a shaman, a healer, a Reiki healer, if you have a calling over your life to just heal you and your family, your generation, that's very different than somebody who is being ordained to be a spiritual teacher and all these other things. So they can touch the divination tools. And that's the other thing. Tarot in itself gives you sort of an initiation process. Not even just tarot. When you start reading people's energy, there's an initiation process that spiritually happens. Where if you're saying, I can read energy, the Most High is going to test you on that. Oh, okay. You can read energy? Let me send you a couple karmics. Let me send you a couple of this. Let me send you this to see how good you read energy. Especially if you are ordained to be in this realm, we have to test your spirit. We have to test your gifts. We have to activate certain gifts. So not everything is meant to tear you down. Some of these things are meant to build you up. And that's what I've noticed in my experience over on the GlowBAE Tarot with all of the attacks and spiritual interference, that nothing was done to tear me down. Everything was done to build me up, activate certain gifts, activate certain knowledge, activate certain wisdom, and I keep growing, I keep glowing, and I keep standing. And that's one of the things that you'll realize, GlowBAEs, is that the more, if you are ordained to be between the realms, if you are ordained to do certain things, you will be blessed. You won't be stressed. And there's a lot of people who drop out of these realms and tarot. They turn back to the Bible. They do all these things, and they don't realize that spirituality and religion, while they go hand in hand, they are very separate things. And when they go towards spirituality, they go towards it sometimes with an ego, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to read people's energy. Then they start trying to divinate on people, asking questions about people, violating people's free will. They start violating universal law, and they don't understand now they've misused and abused the spiritual authority, spiritual power, and the spiritual gifts the Most High gave them to help the world. And that's where people start getting karma, start getting judgment, and the energy backfires on them. So when we talking about the hidden side and the forbidden knowledge, not everybody is ordained to touch things. Not every tool you should be using. I ain't touching no Ouija boards. I stick to the tarot and the pendulums, okay? That's where I feel my comfort zone lies. And honestly, that's where I've been told. Like, people can use runes. People use different things. Some people are called to do those things. Some people are simply called to do it for themselves. Some people are not ordained to read past life and Akashic records and go into people's birth charts and read astrology. Stick to the lane and stick to the plan for you. What the Most High said, this is what I need you to do. Don't try to look over somebody's paper and say, oh, they reading past life energy, let me try to do that. And then you start getting confused with the trickster spirits. You're giving misinformation. People's readings are wrong. It's because you're not ordained to step into people's past life energy. So when we think about it, and we think about what you're called to do, stick to your path. Because there could be a lot, I always say, there's blessings in your own lane. There's blessings in your divine alignment. And when we try to look at what other people are doing and try to become this person or that, we begin to get lessons. And that's when we get into karmic cycles, because we're not focusing on the divine plan, the divine path, and becoming in divine alignment with our purpose and the mission that the Most High gave us. So that's all I have for you today, GlowBAEs. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, it's time for you to get your GlowBAE and to let anyone say otherwise. Bye.